The objective of power and autonomy isn't to do something that makes you successful, but to become the individual that is capable of handling the variables of life. Success is a consequence of that. It's the same objective a parent should have when raising children. It's not to identify or choose a specific path for them to maximize safety. It's to make them as powerful as possible, and then trust them as high-functioning autonomous individuals. The first thing that's critical to understand is that the person you are now is completely malleable. You can change in a million different directions, and it's possible to decide the direction of your change. If you are weak, stupid, depressed, confused, it's a statement of current state, not of essence. It's mainly circumstantial. You need discipline to have the power to take actions despite your resistance to them, to be able to dictate your body's actions with the use of your mind. Without discipline, you are not the master of your own body. You are a slave to impulses and urges, unable to choose your own destiny and impose your free will. You need courage to decide to take actions that are scary despite your apprehension. Courage is important for ambition, taking risk, and being of consequence. The ability to convert energy into action is power. These things put you in the driver's seat of your life. Without them, you are floating through the wind, hoping to be hit upside the head with a reason to do things, or a circumstance that forces it upon you. Discipline is a skill set, like lifting weights. Maybe your ability to make yourself study 6 hours straight is out of your reach right now. Like benching 225 might be out of reach for someone who doesn't lift weights. That doesn't mean it's impossible. What it means is that you need to begin a process of development over time. This process is path of least resistance, incremental improvement, and progress tracking. What I did personally was to do monthly discipline challenges and try to accomplish the full month perfectly. If I failed, I'd start over. If that's too difficult, lower the difficulty of the monthly challenge accordingly, and increase difficulty over time. Lower the difficulty as much as you need to. Don't worry about the weak starting point or how long it feels it might take. What matters is that you get in the door. Courage is also a skill set. You might be afraid of many things in the world, but that can be dismantled through the exposure therapy process. Little by little, you dismantle your fears, incrementally and one at a time. The total area of comfort increases, and the total area of fear decreases. While that happens, your courage muscle develops, making each new fear easier to overcome, hence making you a courageous individual. What I did here was to systematically attack my fears. I picked, for example, the fear of heights. I identified a plausible starting place and then conquered it. I increased the difficulty until I became comfortable in heights. And once I felt so comfortable in heights that it became a source of strength and advantage, I moved on to the next fear and restarted the process. Developing general skills builds confidence. The more general they are, the higher yield they produce. the greater the rate of return. The more niche it is, the less beneficial it is to daily life. The highest rate of return skill for confidence in daily life is combat training of some kind. It's difficult to beat the confidence that comes from being able to defeat the people around you in combat. Second most useful is basic general fitness and athleticism. Picking something like mountaineering, racing, or painting would be useful if glory or creation interests you. Real confidence can only be developed through competence. It's not a set of behaviors you learn from copying confident people. You can't fake it until you make it. It's not about your posture or your tone of speaking. That's all sloppy thinking caused by reasoning by analogy. Developing skills in the real world naturally produces confidence. The exterior behaviors like posture and speaking tone, eye contact, etc., they all happen as a natural result of feeling genuine confidence. None of this can or should be faked. Introspection is critical for becoming an individual. Understanding yourself, how you work, what you think, and why. Once you understand yourself, you can begin to shape who you become as a person, rather than being a slave to your environment. The first step to introspection is isolation. There is a magic on the other side of boredom. When you remove the external stimulation and cut out the distraction, you're forced to confront your own mind. You have a series of beliefs that you hold in your head. Every belief you hold has a source, as well as a line of reasoning. Ask yourself what that line of reasoning is and what the source is. Once you get the answer, repeat the questions. This is the why rabbit hole. Every set of whys you ask takes you into a deeper understanding of yourself. It takes you closer and closer to your fundamental beliefs and truths. Learn to identify your emotions and recognize how they feel in your body. Track down the thought that caused a particular feeling and try to understand why it made you feel that way. Review your life and memories up until this point. Identify things that you enjoyed, things that bothered you, and try to understand why. Understand your contribution to the outcomes of the past. That should build self-awareness. Deep self-reflection past the point of deconstruction of inherited beliefs leads to the construction of your real individual beliefs and your actual individuality. Do this and earn your place in reality. Once you've developed all these things, you will have developed some mastery over yourself. All that remains is to become part of the world. For this, you need to understand the world around you, to become aware of the context of your existence. A deep education will make you richer and fuller as an individual and will reveal critical areas necessary for the development and advancement of humanity. These critical areas will offer you an opportunity to be of use. This is how you find your path or calling in life. Education should be a lifelong endeavor. It has absolutely nothing to do with grades or degrees or diplomas. No one cares how many books you've read, and your job title doesn't sound as impressive as you think it does. All that matters is that you are growing your information base over time so that you can become a more effective person over time. You can begin with genuine interest, or you can begin with critical world areas that are relevant to humanity. Critical areas are more important. but genuine interest will be easier for you. I would suggest genuine interest first, as this is the path of least resistance and will allow you to fall in love with the process of learning. I'd also suggest self-development subjects. Self-development like critical thinking skills, mindfulness, philosophy, and general strategy. Learning new information gets easier as you practice, like with everything else I mentioned so far. Something I haven't mentioned yet is the role that trauma plays in individual power. Suffering and trauma puts you in a state of desperation. Desperation is an extreme source of energy. It's powerful enough to be destructive and harmful, but it is the greatest source. It gives you obsession, compulsion, and extreme passion. It gives you this deep hole, this bottomless pit that makes you feel incomplete, that you seek to fill any way you can, but seem to always fall short. Many of the greats in history were drawing from it. If you fail to control it, it will destroy you. If you heal it altogether, you'll return to normal. Operating from a source of trauma is to sacrifice happiness. It takes your happiness from you, but gives you potential power in return. To heal fully is to be happy but lose your advantage. It's like the dark side of the force. It fuels you to unnatural energy levels if harnessed correctly, but it also poisons you. It may look like your depression and anxiety from trauma is paralyzing you, making you weak, taking energy, but it's actually the opposite. It may seem like your suffering has made you an addict and therefore incompetent, but the truth is you're just not skilled enough to harness it correctly. Unharnessed energy becomes chaotic and destructive, leading to these bad outcomes. Harnessing this energy source to the previous mentioned path will lead to maximal power and autonomy. The tightrope that needs to be navigated here is to be traumatized but unbroken, and to channel all the extreme energy into your growth as a human being. Then apply that human being to making an impact upon the world. Trauma and deep suffering also break your attachment to the material world. Having nothing to lose is a freeing state of mind. Sometimes you have to be willing to burn it all down just to come out the other side. If you're a healthy person, I'd caution you to think twice before sacrificing happiness and risking destruction in exchange for power. If you're already traumatized and suffering, congratulations. You have no choice but to save yourself. Make sure you don't break, and apply yourself to making the world a better place. A place that doesn't lead to damaged people such as yourself. All this power, all this talent, what is it for? What will they say when you're gone? What did it all mean in the end? I'll be the cover from the rain. I'll be the shelter from the storm. The warm embrace, the relief from the cold.